We're coming to you from the Radford Studio Center lot in Studio City, right over the hill from Hollywood. This is the place where dreams are made, legends are born. Hello and welcome to The Lot. I'm Suzanne Marquez. Priscilla Presley married one of the most famous men in the world, Elvis Presley. But her story has always been in the shadow of his. Oscar-winning filmmaker Sophia Coppola looks to correct that with her new movie, Priscilla. We talked to her and her stars.
Hi. What's your name?
Priscilla Boyer.
You like Elvis Presley?
Of course. Who doesn't?
But only she married the king. Kaylee Spaney stars in Priscilla, written and directed by Sophia Coppola, based on Priscilla Presley's memoir.
I read Priscilla's book. I was just so surprised with what her story was, and I just realized how little we know about her. There's such a famous mythic couple, Elvis and Priscilla, but we don't really know that much about what her story was.
What is the intent here, Mr. Presley? You got women throwing themselves at you. Why my daughter?
Well, sir, I happen to be very fond of your daughter. She's much more mature than her age.
21!
What? 22. That's 22. Black hair and more eye makeup.
I don't know if I like it.
What do you mean you don't know if you like it?
Spaney dove into research to play Priscilla from age 14 to 26.
A really interesting challenge as an actor to try to take that on and to really sort of map out that arc before I got onto set.
He's not like you imagine.
Jacob Elordi worked with movement coaches.
We kind of spoke about internalizing the hips and the things in the wrists and the movements and the voices and kind of putting them into his body.
And the director and stars talked extensively with Priscilla herself.
It's a big romantic story, but then we really wanted to have the highs and lows and show this complicated relationship as close as we could to how she saw it.
I want a life of my own.
The movie is in theaters now. A SAG-AFTRA interim agreement allowed the stars of Priscilla to do those interviews during the actors' strike. Priscilla actress Kaylee Spaney is getting rave reviews for her performance as Priscilla Presley. And last year, Austin Butler won a Golden Globe and got an Oscar nomination for playing Elvis in Baz Luhrmann's movie. And renowned acting coach and theater director Howard Fine is joining us. You were Austin's acting coach. How proud must you feel?
Oh, a proud parent, because I watched him from the beginning to now, and it's quite a journey.
So tell me, when you met Austin, did he hire you just for this role, or did you meet him before?
No, he came to train. Right after Nickelodeon, he had done that work. And then he thought, no, I don't want to end there.
Yeah.
I want to be a serious actor. So he started in technique class and worked us all the way up to my master class of scene study.
So what was it like when you first worked with him to when you graduated to become the king of rock and roll?
Well, he had a work ethic right from the beginning. So he would be in class in between acting gigs because he had done the Carrie Diaries, he had done the Shannara Chronicles, but he really wanted to do a play. And up came an audition for Iceman Cometh, Eugene O'Neill's Iceman Cometh on Broadway with Denzel Washington. They did the short version, which is 4 hours long. So in any case, he did it, he prepared, we worked on it, he booked it, and he got to work opposite Denzel Washington. And that got him into a new lane.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Denzel is also a director. He's passionate about plays. He's brought Fences to the big screen. So that's what really leveled him up.
Yeah, because the great actors go back to the stage all the time because there's no editing, there's no fixing the performance. It's live, and you have to have craft. And the audition material for Elvis was Tennessee Williams' Orpheus Descending.
Oh, wow.
And why did Baz Luhrmann choose that? Because a non-actor can't handle it, right? Because there are similarities, but you have to have craft to do it.
Oh, yeah. Tennessee Williams, one of the best writers in the world.
And the most difficult.
Yes.
So that's how he booked that role.
That's incredible. Okay, so you also have a book. So you've worked with some of the biggest names in the business. Let's talk about this book that you're re-releasing.
Yes, my revised Fine on Acting is about to come out. And I've updated it because when I first wrote the book 14 years ago, self-taping wasn't even a thing.
Oh, yeah.
The industry has changed. So there's so much that's happening online that wasn't. So we're updating constantly how you use the techniques today.
and you talk about Austin in the book.
I do.
You've worked with many names. Can we mention a few of them?
Sure, Will Smith, Salma Hayek, Michelle Williams, Brad Pitt, a few of those folks. Yeah.
Just the A of the A list. And if people are lucky enough to be in Hollywood or visit Hollywood, you also have a studio here and out of the country.
Yes, and in Australia, in Melbourne, Australia. Greetings, Australia. But we're also online now, so people are in class all around the country and all around the world.
It's wonderful. And what would be your number one tip? I always hear be yourself, but that's really tough.
Yeah, it's not be yourself, it's use yourself. How many characters do you play in the course of a day?
Oh my gosh, right? You put on different masks and you have different approaches for different people.
And they're all parts of us. The age and the experience level of who we speak to conditions change of self. So if I speak to a young acting student, I feel quite smart. If I speak to a scientist working on a cure for cancer, I feel stupid.
Right.
So in all of us is an outgoing person, a shy person, a smart person, and a dumb person. So one of the greatest misconceptions about acting is the idea of creating a character. Every character is already inside you. You have to know how to access that.
That's beautiful. Okay, so since we are streaming, is there a website? Is there a social channel where we can find you now if I want to be the next Salma Hayek?
Okay. It is howardfine.com.
Easy.
So yeah, it's easy.
Well, thank you so much, Howard. It's been such a pleasure having you with us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, and congrats. And speaking of books, we have another story. The Marsh King's Daughter, which was an international bestseller, is now on the big screen. Daisy Ridley stars in this new thriller. The script was written by one of the writers of the Oscar-sweeping movie The Revenant. I spoke to the film's director, who's behind films like Limitless and Divergent.
Helena Erickson?
What are you doing with my house?
What's going on?
Your father, Jacob Holbrook. When was the last time you spoke to him?
When I was 10 years old.
I'm confused. I thought your parents died in a car accident.
That's what I told you.
Daisy Ridley plays Helena, a busy mother of two with a loving husband, but she's keeping a secret from all of them. She was the product of an abduction. Her father kidnapped her mother, and she was born 2 years later. Her mother helped them escape the only family Helena ever knew, and he went to prison.
Jacob Holbrook, the so-called Marsh King, abducted Beth Erickson and held her for 12 years in the wilderness with the daughter she gave birth to while in captivity.
Now her father has killed 2 guards, escaped prison, and disappeared into the marsh. Police begin a manhunt, but Helena knows only one person has the skills to find the survivalist the world calls the Marsh King, because only one person was ever trained by him, his daughter.
Well, Daisy is great. You know, Daisy is badass, and Daisy is, you know, an incredibly hard worker, and I loved her take on the character. You know, Daisy has such a mystery to her in a way. You know, you look at her and you're drawn in immediately, but you don't know everything that's going on, which is perfect for a character like Helena in this movie, who has a secret, who's keeping her whole past hidden from anybody that she knows. So Daisy does that with such restraint and subtlety, and yet she's such a great actress that, you know, in her eyes, you can just see how she's really feeling.
The book was an international bestseller, so there was pressure to measure up to the novel.
Well, it's you know, it's risky when you take a book and make it into a movie, because a movie's it's a different form, and so there's changes that are made, and you know, people that are real fans of the book have ideas about the way people look, or the way the locations are, the way a scene unfolds, and you know, we try to honor that as much as we can, and then we need to do what we need to do to make it the most kind of compelling, thrilling movie that we can.
The shock still hasn't worn off from the news of actor Matthew Perry's sudden death at the age of 54. Friends, co-creators Marta Kaufman and David Chase are sharing some of their favorite memories of working with him.
We'll flip for it. Ducks or clowns? Oh, we're gonna flip for the baby? You got a better idea? All right, call it in here. Heads. Heads it is. Yes. We have to assign heads to something.
Oh my God, there's so many of them. But I have to say, for some reason, this one sticks out for me. And it was one word. And the word was what? And it was in response to Tom Selleck's character. He's speaking this, orating this beautiful poem.
I'd like to make a toast. As a poet once said, in the sweetness of friendship, let there be laughter and sharing of pleasures, for in the dew of little things, the heart finds its morning and is refreshed.
Oh.
What?
Chandler just responded with a what? But it was so funny. It was the perfect timing. It was 10 times more than we thought it would be. I'm not even sure we thought it was a joke. So that comes to mind because it was just such skill, all funneled into one word.
Certainly, from a comedy standpoint, there are so many. I mean, I know he said in his book, I think it was, or in an interview, and it's one of my favorite moments when he talks. He says to Joey, he's talking about Joey has said something dumb, and Chandler talks about putting a Q-tip in your ear and stopping when you meet resistance.
Hey, anybody know a good tailor?
You need some clothes altered?
No, I'm just looking for a man to draw on me with chalk.
Why don't you go see Frankie? My family's been going to him forever. He did my first suit when I was 15. No, wait, 16. No, excuse me, 15. All right, when was 1990?
Okay, you have to stop the Q-tip when there's resistance.
But when I think about, in terms of what Matthew was able to do, it wasn't just the funny stuff, but also the emotional stuff. And I think about the scene where he's proposing to Monica. And this character who we think of as being afraid of emotion and funny and using his sarcasm and his jokes as sort of to deflect things. And in that scene, he's so vulnerable and he's so open and so moving. And so actually in the last few days when I've been thinking about him, that's one of the scenes that always comes to mind.
I thought that it mattered what I said or where I said it. Then I realized the only thing that matters is that you make me happier than I ever thought I could be.
He was like that as a person, too. Funny, real, authentic, raw sometimes. You know, he was able to imbue Chandler with these elements because that was part of who he was.
I've already ordered his memoir, and I cannot wait to watch many more reruns of Friends. When we come back, movie critic Gray Drake reviews Priscilla and 2 other new releases. You don't want to miss this. Movie critic Gray Drake is here to talk about what else is in theaters this week.
All right, we have Sensational Ladies in the cinema and at home this week.
That's great. Mm-hmm. So one person who I love, I could watch her movies over and over again, Meg Ryan. I'm so happy she's back.
Totally. What Happens Later is a really great comeback for her. I'm excited for everybody to see it.
Okay, let's go to the clip.
Attention, Boston and Austin passengers. Those flights have been delayed until further notice.
Just those 2 flights?
Just us. Yes.
That's unbelievable.
They're saying this could be bad. The storm of the century.
What are you worried about?
Everything. I was diagnosed with anticipatory anxiety.
Is that a real thing?
Oh, yeah. Right now, I'm worried that we're lost.
Look around.
We are looking around.
Look around.
I'm looking around.
Relax. You're already living out your worst case scenario.
What, being stuck here with you?
Yeah.
You make a good point.
So I'm curious, David Duchovny has taken on such a wide variety of roles lately. Is he somebody you love in this movie or no?
He is somebody that I loved in the movie. I definitely related to his character more than Meg Ryan's.
Oh.
So he's very relatable. There's no mention of aliens, nothing X-Filesy at all, and no Californication in there.
Yeah.
But basically, it hinges on whether or not you like these two people, because
Okay.
the whole movie is just them.
Like
And-
bickering?
Yeah,
Is it-
basically.
Is it like When Harry Met Sally, or does it wish it was When Harry Met Sally?
It certainly wishes it does, just like every romantic comedy since. What it is two people have had their flights canceled because of weather, and they end up trapped with their exes in this airport. Like, what are the chances, first of all? And it was adapted from a play, and it feels very play-ish.
Okay.
It's all dialogue, and I say it's a great comeback for Meg Ryan because it's been too long since she's been gone, and she's on screen every scene in this
Okay.
movie, more or less. And so if you're a Meg Ryan fan, you just can't get better.
Okay, so definitely go see that, or wait until it comes out on video?
Yeah, I think it's a win either way. It's definitely warm and fuzzy at home.
Okay, so we've been talking about Priscilla. Let's show a little clip because I want to hear what you think.
Hi. What's your name?
Priscilla Presley.
You like Elvis Presley?
Of course. Who doesn't?
What are the kids listening to these days?
Bobby Darin, Fabian, and you.
So I've heard that this movie isn't Sophia Coppola's greatest. Is that true?
Well, it's not my favorite of hers, but I will say that it's very consistent with her style.
Okay.
Dreamy, subtle, and it really takes a while to unfold. And what it focuses on is what Priscilla's life was like while she was literally waiting for Elvis to come home from his fabulous star-studded life.
Oh, gosh.
Right. It was super boring. And so I kind of found the movie itself in its exploration of boredom to be boring itself.
Yeah.
But there are people out there that are going to think, like, this is Sophia Coppola and what she does well, and we finally get to see Priscilla's story. And having said that, the performances are excellent.
And I mean, the virgin suicides, they're basically,
Yeah.
it's very on point and on trend with her.
Mhm.
So Nyad is about a really wonderful story. And is this your pick of the week?
It definitely is. Everybody watch Nyad swim.
Diana Nyad, world champion marathon swimmer.
The swim I want to do is 60 hours. That's Cuba to Florida.
Absolutely not. No. That's insane. Diana, you tried that when you were 28 and you did not make it when you're 28. You're 60.
I don't believe in imposed limitations. The only one who gets to decide if I'm through is me.
Such a great actress and great story.
Oh my God, I love this. So Annette Bening and Jodie Foster are playing Diana Nyad and her best friend / trainer, Bobby. And these two women together achieved the impossible when Nyad failed to swim between Cuba and the Keys. When she was younger, she decided to try it again when she was 60.
Wow.
And she kept failing, and the movie is just her failing. But when it's Annette Bening failing, you get to see her mentality, see what this person went through. The fact that it's a true story is incredible. The movie is so inspiring. I really can't recommend it enough.
Oh, and you know what? After the lot, you can turn on Netflix, and I'm going to do that.
I'll be doing a backstroke.
Thank you so much, Gray. When we come back, a 90s boy band is going on tour, and no, it's not in sync. And another singer joins Rihanna in the Billionaire Club. We're going to reveal who when we come back. Welcome back to The Lot. Get ready to step by step because 90s nostalgia is coming in hot.
Hey baby, you got to remember, that forever you're good.
Oh, this makes my child heart happy. New Kids on the Block has announced their Summer Magic Tour based on their hit tour of the same name in 1990. I was there. They're hitting the road with Paula Abdul and DJ Jazzy Jeff. It kicks off in June of next year, and tickets are on sale now. Meanwhile, Taylor Swift has entered her billionaire era. Forbes cites Swift's record-breaking Eras tour along with her blockbuster concert movie for her estimated $1.1 billion net worth. And that's not all she has to cheer about. The pop star released her re-recorded 1989 album and broke her own single-day streaming record on Spotify. Black Cake is a new Hulu series based on the best-selling novel of the same name. It takes estranged siblings on a journey of discovery to deal with their mother's death and learn about her hidden past.
Your mother rarely spoke of her childhood.
She never spoke of it. And she always dodged our questions.
Well, in the end, she decided to talk.
Black Cake, based on the Charmaine Wilkerson novel, is a family drama centered on a murder mystery.
In order to ensure my safety, someone would have to die.
The moment I read it, I was like, I absolutely have to do this. I love this so much.
She has a story, our story. We just have to keep listening. Some secrets are best left buried.
Showrunner Marissa Jo Sorar says she was drawn to the story, the multiple locations and time periods, and the characters.
I had to protect you from the life I was forced to have.
All of these strong female characters, I just don't mean strong like heroic, I mean just complex, layered, nuanced female characters.
None of this makes sense. I mean, did Dad know any of this?
With the stress of all these secrets weighing on her, she must have felt so alone. For the rest of my life, I'm gonna keep looking over my shoulder.
What are you running from?
Teenager Mia Isaac plays the key role of Covey.
There was nobody until Mia showed up on her screen test and just blew me away. And I finally saw Covey when I met Mia.
Betrayal is a powerful thing, but love brings the light that will guide you out of your darkest moments.
If you liked Downton Abbey and have not started watching The Gilded Age, it is about time. Season 2 just dropped on HBO and Max, and you can binge watch both seasons now. It's set in the U.S. in the 1880s. Stars include Christine Baranski, Cynthia Nixon, and Carrie Coon.
New York is where society puts itself on display. The leaders meet each other, and their children court each other. The old guard think they can keep out the new people with impunity, but nothing stays the same forever. Change came from the American Revolution, but it was difficult to live through all the same.
Tradition and progress continue to clash in Season 2 of The Gilded Age.
In many ways, modern America was being forged.
Things are worse than I thought.
The workers are paid barely enough to put food on the table.
Why must I be the villain in every story? I have lifted whole towns out of poverty.
There was a general, a culture of change and of growth.
We're covering the opening of a new school in Tuskegee.
You have never been south.
I need to show the world there are colored people making something of their lives.
We look more at the context of a Black character in America after the Civil War, what opportunities were opening, what were not.
You're making a terrible mistake. Stop being so selfish.
I won't be put in a cage.
Have you forgotten that you live here at my pleasure?
The struggle between the old money and the new money in New York.
I'm afraid we have a serious problem.
I cover all your backs, but who's covering mine?
At every turn, I think one of them thinks that they're going to win, and the other one thinks that they're going to lose.
You seem to have won the first battle.
I intend to win the war.
That show is so good and so gorgeous. Meanwhile, the trailer for Good Burger 2 just dropped, reuniting Kenan Thompson and Kel Mitchell as Dexter and Ed.
You think I can get a job at Good Burger? I'm putting a good word to Mr. Jensen. That's not soap, by the way. It's maple syrup. Why?
Do you guys serve veggie burgers?
I can serve anything on the menu. Good burger! And fries!
Are you using a plunger to unclog the shake machine, as in the same plunger we use to unclog the toilet?
No.
So silly, but something the whole family can enjoy. In this sequel to the original 1997 comedy, Dexter returns to work at Good Burger and is met with some of Ed's classic antics. When the pair of best friends visit Good Burger's corporate headquarters, they are met by villainous executives played by Jillian Bell and Lil Rel Howery, who plan to expand the company worldwide, but they also want to replace the workers with robots and fire the entire staff. As you can see, they rally together, and Good Burger originally stems from the popular sketch of the same name back in the 90s, the Nickelodeon series All That. Fans can see Good Burger 2 on Paramount Plus November 22nd. That's a wrap for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Suzanne Marquez. I'll see you again next week on The Lot.